Monday, May 6th marks the first session of town meeting, and Natalie Guthrie tells us about the highlights of the evening.
The first session of Needham's 2013 annual town meeting began with a performance by Needham High School students, an appearance of the Needham Joint Color Guard, as well as a moment of silence.
In honor of Mr. Wasserman, the victims of the marathon attack, including the family of MIT police officer Sean Collier.
Town meeting members went on to pass 12 articles in the first session of town meeting, including Article 9, the town's 2014 operating budget of $123.6 million, a 4.7% increase from last year's fiscal budget. The request includes a 5.5% increase to the Needham Public Schools, which school officials say stem from increasing enrollments in Needham High School.
This brings us to Article 18. And perhaps the reason why our attendance is so high. You got to admit, that was a really good one. Come on.
The body also approved Article 18, a 10-month moratorium that would temporarily prevent any medical marijuana dispensaries from opening in town.
During the 10-month moratorium, the Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing to give the public the ability to better understand and be heard on how Needham can best be complied with this very new law. It has been almost 80 years since the end of Prohibition, and Needham is just now allowing the retail sale of alcohol.
The moratorium gives Needham officials until March 1st, 2014 to investigate where dispensaries should potentially be located according to zoning. The second session of town meeting moved a bit slower, with the body approving only 4 articles, while 3 articles were referred back to committee. Town meeting members spent a lot of time debating Article 23, which would amend a general bylaw for marijuana consumption on public property. The purpose of the article was to prohibit public consumption of marijuana on town property or in any place accessible to the public, and to allow the town to impose a fine of $200 per offense. Town meeting members had mixed reactions to the article.
I'm not exactly sure what this bylaw is intending to solve. It seems to me it is very well covered by state law. There is absolutely no evidence to support the belief that criminal sanctions or fines actually help stop anyone from consuming drugs.
Imagine for a moment a family where a mother has cancer and is undergoing chemotherapy. As some of you may know, chemotherapy makes people unable to eat sometimes, and in order to gain some appetite, some are helped by marijuana. So imagine this mother steps outside because she does not want to smoke in front of her kids, in a secluded area outside her apartment building, not necessarily in her own backyard, because not everybody in Needham has a backyard. She is liable for a 50 or a 200 or whatever fine this body will pass, if it passes one.
An unofficial survey in the school said about 70% of the students smoke marijuana. And I'm sure my high school is very typical of other high schools in the state. So I'm thinking about the future of these kids, and I think it's very important that they understand the consequences.
I was deeply moved by the commentary that we just heard. I will now be voting against this article because I see the point that was made. Why single out marijuana when any number of other substances are not regulated?
In the end, town meeting members voted to refer Article 23 back to committee. Article 27 also provoked a lot of dialogue. Article 27 would amend the general sign bylaw. The bylaw addressed several issues that have come up over the years about signage around town. Town meeting members voted to pass Article 27. However, an amendment to the bylaw prohibited the use of street banners and gave the town a uniform law in regards to sandwich signs. The third session of town meeting will resume on Monday, May 13th. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Natalie Guthrie.